Hey everyone, I've gotten a lot of questions about things that you can use to track your fertility when TTC. So this is going to be, sorry I'm out of breath, this is going to be just a little video about some essentials for TTC, like things you should have if you're serious about it. If you're not trying, not preventing, you don't have to worry about it as much, but if you actually want a TTC, you want to chart your cycles accurately and you want to really get a firm grasp on your fertility, these are some things that you probably can use to help track. Step one, get a notebook. I use just one of these suckers, little, just wide rule, 70, whatever, and I use them to track and I write down. I also use a phone app and a computer app to keep track of all of my stuff. This is Fertility Friend. It gives you like a calendar of days, and then it gives you this. I'll put a picture. So, you know, Fertility Friend is a great way, online tracking. You put in all your symptoms, you put in, you know, whether your OPK was positive or negative, you put in your cervical mucus, your cervical position, all of that, and it helps you chart your most fertile days, and it helps you pinpoint the day that you ovulate, which is really cool. Now, as far as putting in data, things that you'll need if you're going to use something like that, you're going to need a basal body temperature thermometer, a BBT. So you can get these in really any store. I got mine at Walmart in the family planning section. This is not a regular thermometer. This is a basal body temperature thermometer. This is like, I keep it right next to my bed. So first thing in the morning, I turn off my alarm clock and I pop this sucker in my mouth. And it takes about a minute and it gives you your reading. So then you take it and you plug it into Fertility Friend. And try to do it at the same time every day. You'll get more accurate results that way. Always do it right when you're waking up, because that's when your temperature will be accurate. And that, watching your temp line can indicate ovulation. Me personally, I usually stay pretty steady and then I have a big dip, and that's how I know ovulation is going to happen within the next 2 days or so. I have that big dip and then it starts to climb. And that climb signals, yes, you ovulated. But for me, that dip is like a warning flag, like, hey, you're about to ovulate. So not all women have that, but that's just how my chart in particular works, typically. So you just watch your temps for that, and you figure out a pattern on what your body's doing. Another thing that you can use when temping and tracking is ovulation tests. These are like the little internet cheapies. I'll post a picture because I know I can't like hold it up and show you. Okay, so these are the internet cheapie tests. They're Wandfo brand. You can get these on Amazon, and it's way cheaper to order through Amazon. I get a pack of 30 of these, or 50 OPK tests, and then 20 of these suckers. These are pregnancy tests. They look just like the OPKs, except they're pink instead of blue, and they're pregnancy tests, where these are ovulation tests. So these suckers are important. I keep in my little notebook here, I write down my cervical mucus, cervical position, whether or not we had sex that day, and then this is the OPKs. I forgot to take one here. And I can watch them get darker and then lighter, so I can pinpoint what day is the darkest and what day is my positive. So that's what I use the notebook for. I put these in there to make life a little bit more mess-free when using them. Some pregnancy tests, you know, you pee, like you hold it in the stream. These you dip, so you can get these little plastic cups at Walmart, and you just, you know, first morning urine is best for pregnancy tests. OPKs, it doesn't matter really what time of day, at least not for me. I get the same results. It's really however you want to do it with OPKs, however you want to time it. A lot of women do it twice a day to make sure they don't miss their surge, which is a smart thing to do. So basically, you rip open the test, and you just dip it, hold it for 5 seconds, and then lay it flat. And then you can just dump the urine. And then if you want, you can wash them and reuse the little cups, you know, to get more life out of them. I usually just throw them away. Speaking of pregnancy tests, so you have the cheapie test. I always test with the cheapies because they're cheap. If I get a faint positive, I've got a first response early result box, and then I've got a clear blue digital, which is unopened. And I have like a bunch of boxes like this just to check and see if my faint positive is really positive. Like if I get a faint positive, the next day I like to test with the first response to see if it was a fluke or not, because the first response will pick it up. Something that we use that isn't a necessity, but I like to just be double sure, soft cups. You can get these, some drugstores have them, some don't, but Amazon has them, and I'll open one for you here. They come like this, and basically you can use them for your period. They're designed for use after your period, but they're just like little silicone cups. They're really flexible, and they've got the little, you know, stuff here to catch, and you fold it kind of like this, at least I do anyway. Fold it like that, and you just put it up in there and then let it go, and it expands back to normal, and it sits around your cervix. So when you have your period, if you use these for your period, it'll sit around your cervix and just collect the blood, and then you just take it out and throw it away. Some of them are reusable. These aren't, but you can leave it in for up to 12 hours. Me, I don't use them necessarily for my period. I do sometimes, but not often. I use them for TTC purposes. After Hubs and I, you know, do the baby dance, I will kind of tilt my legs up in the air, but then I take one of these suckers and I just put it up there, and it like scoops up the sperm, and it'll hold it right up next to my cervix. So then I can get up and I can go do laundry or watch a movie, whatever, and I don't have to worry about keeping my legs in the air because this holds it up there for me. And then, you know, usually if we baby dance at night, I'll just leave this in all night, and when I wake up in the morning, I'll just take it out and throw it away and kind of rinse myself down there. So these are really useful. I know a lot of people who have used them and had success with them. We have not had success yet, but that doesn't mean we won't in the future and that it won't play a part. But that's really it for like the basics. You want a thermometer, you want OPKs, you want something to keep track with, and then obviously Fertility Friend I use that, so I can speak for that. That's a great source for charting. Some other things you can do to check for your fertility to really maximize on getting a handle on it. You can check your cervical mucus and your cervical position. You may say, how do I do that, Kim? Well, in the morning, after I urinate, I take a finger and I just stick it on up in there and kind of wiggle it around and feel for my cervix. And after some practice, you can tell when your cervix is hard, when it's soft, if it's high or low, you know, open, closed, kind of in the middle. After a little bit of practice, you'll get very familiar with what your body's doing and how it's working. So at first you might be like, what am I feeling for? What am I feeling for? The cervix is kind of like this long, kind of pokey thing in there, and it feels like a skin flap almost. Like if you're going up in there, it's all hollow, but then there's like a skin flap. And in the middle is kind of an indentation, and if you can put your fingertip kind of into it, it's open. If you can't, it's closed, and then it can be really firm or smooshy, you know, and at different times of your cycle, it'll do different things. And then once you're done kind of feeling around, kind of take a little swab up in there with your finger before you pull your hand out, and you'll get some cervical mucus straight from the cervix onto your fingers. So you can tell, and then there's different types of cervical mucus. Egg white is fertile, and it's kind of deceiving. It's not like cooked egg white. It's not the color, it's the consistency. Think of a raw egg white, all kind of slippery and goopy and real thick, like kind of like blah, 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 blah. That's egg white cervical mucus. That means that you're in your fertile window. There's real watery mucus, there's sticky mucus, you can be completely dry, cloudy. There's a whole bunch of there's a range of different ones. So just put in what your cervix is doing, what the mucus is doing in there, and Fertility Friend will help you to pinpoint when you're ovulating and when you're fertile and things like that. But the thing to look for for ovulation is egg white cervical mucus. That's like the key. So yeah, temping, cervical mucus, cervical positions, OPKs, and I take prenatal vitamins every day. I don't have them right here with me because I forgot, but I take gummy prenatal vitamins every day. So that's something you can do too if you want. I'm gonna start taking soy isoflavones on cycle days 5 through 9. I'm waiting on that in the mail. It's not here yet, so I can't show you guys that either. But I'll put pictures of everything that I haven't already done. But yeah, that is the essentials that you should have when you're TTC. And especially if you're just starting out, it's just good stuff to have and start practicing with to get to know your body and get into a rhythm and learn more about what your body's doing. It may sound all technical and like, oh, well, it's not just letting it happen naturally. No, it's not, but sometimes it doesn't happen naturally, and sometimes you really need to know what's going on with your body to make it easier. And all this stuff, it sounds kind of complicated, but it does make life a lot easier when TTC. It makes things clearer and simpler, in my opinion. So, baby dust to all of you who are currently TTC, and congratulations to those of you who have gotten your BFPs or are pregnant. And hang in there for those of you who are waiting to try to conceive. You know, the wait will be worth it, and kudos to you for having patience to wait. Yeah, so that's been it. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below or inbox me, and I will try to address them in a future video. Alright, thanks everyone. Bye.